reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.
Good evening to everyone who is joining me right now. I hope you all had a good day. This is your one and only Waka Waka Doctor, always bringing you the best gist when it comes to travel and migration. You know how we do it here, right? All we do is share information that has to do with traveling, living, moving abroad. Yeah. And today is not going to be any different. Today we're talking about how to get visa sponsorship jobs with the NHS in about 8 weeks thereabout. So if you're interested in getting jobs with visa sponsorship within the NHS, then this video is for you. As always, I don't talk about these things alone. I always bring people who have the experience to come talk about it with you. Let me bring them up. How are you doing, ma?
Hi, Waka Doctor. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much. It's good to see your face.
How is India?
India is amazing. India is sweet.
I
The
can
only
see.
problem is that if I stay too long, I will get very fat.
Oh dear, you are eating bread.
The food is too good. Oh my
Bread.
God. The food is too sweet.
Oh,
Mm. If I stay too long, I'll get too fat. So I need to run away from here. They've got loads and loads of varieties and
lovely.
with lots of color and flavor
And spices as
and
well.
spices.
And
God, I need to run.
nice.
How are you? How are you doing? Too? You're fine?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's proper autumn now in the UK, so it's getting cold, and it's getting to the end of the year. It's a very interesting time in recruitment. That's what I always tell people. Getting to the end of the year is always very interesting. And good news, a new update came out this month. So I'm quite excited to share all this tonight.
Fantastic. So a couple of days ago, you sent me some job offers.
Yeah.
I think you sent me about 2 or 3. I posted one on my broadcast channel. The other ones I didn't post. But it seems to me that job opportunities are springing up now
Yeah.
in the UK. Can you share with us some basic steps that people need to take if they're looking for jobs with visa sponsorship? What are the basic steps that they need to have or know before they can secure these jobs?
Okay, doctor, I know that your time is so precious. You are someone that is very difficult to get hold of. So I will give you very short answers. So in summary, the basic steps are apply, apply, apply,
Oh, wow.
apply, interview until you get the job. So qualify, apply, interview, you get the job. So that is my 4-step approach to getting a job in the NHS. I like to keep it very simple. I like to keep it very, very simple. Sometimes people like to complicate things, but as a teacher, I keep things very simple. And I always believe that the outcome or the end goal of any tutorials, of any session should be what? Should be the end result. So you should
The key points they can
get
get and the end result as well.
from it. So let's keep it simple. The steps to take to get a job in the NHS is qualify, apply, interview, and get the job.
And
That's it.
one interesting thing that you said apply like 4 times. And that means that just keep applying, just keep applying, just keep applying.
Yes, you need to keep applying. However, you need to be strategic in your applications. So I've heard people say they've applied for 300 jobs. Straight away, I know they are doing something wrong. You cannot apply. And one thing about me is I speak from experience. I've been there. So I've been in that situation where I was applying for jobs and constantly getting the rejections. No. And then I said to my friend, very sad, downcast, I've been getting no why. And he said to me, go and look at the description of the job. What are those software they need? I'm a civil engineer, for those that do not know. What are the softwares that are being used in the industry? What are the certifications? It's not enough to say I graduated from Imperial College. I'm a scholar from Imperial College. I graduated with a very good result, And I just felt I should get the jobs. I was getting to the last stage of Chevron interview, Shell interview. In fact, I'd gotten some of these multinational jobs in Nigeria before I moved over to the UK. So why am I not getting the jobs? And he said, there is a code. There is a code for every industry in every country. The code that works in Canada may not work in the US, may not work in Australia, and may not work in the UK. So you need to get that code. You need to get that information. You need to run with it. And when I say apply, 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 it may be 3 times, it may be 4 times, but certainly not 100 applications to start to get you the interviews.
And one of the reasons why I believe you is because when I used to work full time with the NHS, I used to have people that would say, "Oh, they can't get jobs. They can't get jobs. They find it difficult." I was doing locum, and I was seeing jobs in abundance. I'm like, "Where are you looking?
What are
Where
you
are you looking? These are
Yeah.
jobs. I get jobs every now and then." And so there must be something you're not doing right, not to be getting those jobs.
Yeah.
And I think that that's it. In your own experience, based on the new developments that have happened, how quickly can one get NHS jobs? And I know that a lot of people are going to argue with this
Mm,
because, again, experience
mm.
differs. What works for A might not work for B. But in your own experience, how soon or how quickly do you think one can get a job?
Okay, the whole life cycle from start to finish, depending on where you are starting from. So someone with a GMC already registered and someone that is just starting freshly in the process, it's going to be different, time scales for them. So someone that is already qualified, has a phlebotomy certificate, has their MVQ level 3 certificate, you should be looking at, I would say, anything from 1 month. The latest one we just got this week, she actually took 2 months from when she completed, less than 2 months. She finished her phlebotomy in July, I think about 19th or 20th of July, thereabouts. And, early September, she already got her job. She had an offer and she's currently going through the onboarding stages. So she's, going through the allocation of her COS and everything. So I would say give yourself, give and take. It should take you from 1 month up to 3 months if you know what you are doing, if you're doing the right thing, and if you're committed to following the right process.
So
From when you get
let's just say between 1 to 3 months. Is that
yes,
what?
yeah,
1
yeah.
to 3 months. Okay. Now, just for people who are not clear, can you just tell us what is the meaning of NHS? What kind of, are there specific jobs or specific categories? Not NHS doesn't employ everybody. Are there
No.
specific categories of workers, that NHS employs and stuff like that?
Thank you very much for that question. So NHS is the National Health Service in the United Kingdom. They are the largest employer of labor, employing, hundreds of thousands of people across the UK. So what that means is that they are able to employ, anybody from cleaners, porters, all the way up to consultants, senior consultants, and directors and things like that. But for sponsorship, for you to be sponsored, what that means is that for you to come from a different country outside of the EU, the European Union, to work in the United Kingdom, you must be at band 3 level. So band 3 is usually looking at RQF level 3 or, any off-qual endorsed qualification level 3 and above. So NHS are sponsoring from band 3, band 4, band 5, band 6, band 7, all the way up, to the top. So they are sponsoring this cadre of people. So they sponsor, clinicians, clinical support workers, admin staff, IT staff, project managers, estate managers, builders, construction workers, you just name it. But I focus on the clinical aspect. So anything healthcare. So allied health professions, health support workers, clinical support workers, those are the areas I focus on assisting, people with.
Okay, so generally NHS employs people from all spheres of life, but
Yeah,
you can only help with those in healthcare.
absolutely.
I
I
want to,
believe in being and just focusing on, what I
okay.
know. Have
I want to take you back on what you said. You said if you have certificates, MVQ3, it's going to take you 1 to 3 months. What
Yes.
about those that don't have at all? They want to start from the scratch. How long will it take?
Okay, so for those that don't have any certifications, I would say it's good to get certified. So the good thing about the phlebotomy, you can do phlebotomy and cannulation in as little as 2 days. Yes, I said 2 days. So once you get your phlebotomy and cannulation, you can start applying for NHS jobs. Some NHS jobs need people that have NVQs, which is National Vocational Qualifications. So they need people that have NVQs, and you can complete your NVQ in 3 months. In as little as 3 months, you can complete your NVQs and start applying for the job. So give and take, your whole life cycle, you should be looking at about 6 months. But I always say with recruitment is give yourself time so that you are not under any pressure, because anything that has to do with process takes time. You know, so give yourself time. As long as you know that you are on the right track, you will surely.
I might be saying too much, but I will even say if you don't have any certification at all, give yourself 1 year.
1 year.
Yes, if you don't have any certification, any qualification at all, give yourself 1 year so that you're not under pressure. Then if you have the qualification and all that stuff, then maybe you can give yourself that 1 to 3 months that you said. Now, you did say that you help only those in healthcare. Does this include doctors, nurses, dentists, physiotherapists, healthcare assistants, support staff, and all that?
So any level of healthcare, any occupation under the healthcare profession, I'm able to assist. However, I don't assist with things like licensures or registrations. I don't assist with, you know, so if you've gotten your registration, then I can assist, but I don't assist through the process of getting registrations. Sometimes I recommend for professionals like doctors or HCPC registered professionals that it may be worth it. I'm not saying you have to do it, coming at maybe a slightly lower level. So I've advised, you know, some doctors or nurses coming at maybe band 4, you know, assistant physician level. So you can get a job with a GP surgery as an assistant physician if you have your GMC. You know, sometimes you can just lower down. I've seen dental surgeons, you know, dental registered with GDC coming in as assistant dentist or dental associate, something like that, at a slightly lower level than what your registration would have taken you to. And the key is to get your foot in the door. For those professionals, the key is to get your foot in the door. But anybody with an NVQ level 3 or a level 3 diploma can come in at band 3 or 4 level. And for any other person, whether you be a nurse, a midwife, you know, HCPC registered professional, physiotherapist, occupational therapist, speech and language therapist, podiatrist, medical doctor, you should be looking at nothing less than band 4.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I would like to ask you about qualifications. I'm assuming that they must have, some people are saying, well, I assume that one of the qualifications you must have is this NVQ3,
yeah,
right? Can you tell us the qualifications people need to have and what is NVQ3? And I'm seeing some people saying NVQ3 is not available in Nigeria. Can you talk about this generally?
Okay, thank you very much. I'll start with the last question. Very proudly, I can say we are one of the organizations or companies that have been able to take the NVQ3 RQF equivalent to Nigeria. So NVQ3 is available in Nigeria, not just in Nigeria, in Africa. So with Grammatorial, you can do the NVQ3 from India, from Pakistan. You know, we have students in the Middle East, we have students in Kenya, Zimbabwe, in Ghana, in Nigeria, in all African countries. So Grammatorial is not only for Nigerians. I have lots of Indians, brothers and sisters coming to me to say, do you help only Nigerians? No, we do not. We would like to welcome as many Indians and would really like to help Indians, Pakistans, people from the Middle East, from Egypt, from everywhere in the world. Grammatorial has been licensed and accredited to provide the NVQs. So now, what is NVQ? NVQ stands for National Vocational Qualifications. So what is a vocational qualification? It is a qualification that does what? That confers upon the award holder an occupational competency. So as a healthcare professional, you must be occupationally competent. It's not just for anybody on the streets to say, I'm a caregiver, I've taken care of my grandfather, I took care of my dad, I took care of my, you know, every woman I believe is a caregiver. But for you to say, I want to make this a profession, you need to be occupationally competent. And if you are looking at an organization like the NHS, occupational competency counts if you are looking for band 3 roles and above. So that is what the NVQ offers you. It's a distinguishing factor in a highly competitive international job market. You need that X factor. You need that extra factor that will stand you out of the crowd. So if 1,000 people are applying, maybe 50 people will have the NVQs. So that narrows down the competition. It narrows down the competition for you and helps you to start to get those interviews, puts you in front of the hiring managers, and boom, that job, that dream job is yours. Thank you.
Are you saying that the minimum qualification they need to have is that NVQ3?
So you need to have an occupationally competent qualification. So I would say NVQ3 for now, for what it's looking like now within the NHS. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Now I've seen a lot of people and comments saying that they're finding it difficult to get jobs in the NHS. Some are applying, they are in the UK, they are applying for these jobs. What do you think might be the challenge? What are the challenges that people face when they try to apply for jobs within the NHS?
Number one, personal supporting statements for NHS. So UK will be very broad, but let's just narrow it down to the NHS. So like I said earlier, the NHS needs people. You said you were always getting these, emails and these calls. There's so much job when you are into it. And just like you, I struggle to understand why people are not getting these jobs, because sometimes I go on track job, I see the same job being advertised over and over again, which means that they are not finding suitable people for that role. But once they find suitable people, you see that you get bombarded. It's like almost they are begging you to come and work. So you need to make yourself that suitable person. So you need to look for a job. I remember when I was, looking at universities and I wanted to go to and narrow down to 3 schools: Imperial College, Oxford, and Cambridge. And the first thing I went to do is I looked at their requirements. What are their requirements? Do I meet those requirements even before I start applying? I looked at myself, I looked at the requirement, the kind of person Cambridge and Oxford and Imperial are looking for before I even start applying. So you need to look at the requirements. What is the NHS looking for? They will never lower their standards. So if they are looking for someone that is occupationally competent, that has an NVQ level 3 or 4, that has 6 months of experience, they're not going to lower it just because you turn up. So you want to look at the requirements, you want to look at your CV, or you want to look at yourself. And do I meet the essential criteria? Once you can answer yes, you meet it. The next hurdle you need to climb is what? Is the personal statements. That is where lots of people fumble. That is where lots of people that even meet the criteria cannot skip that hurdle, because most of these trusts are using what? Are using machine. They are generating, keywords that they are looking for in your personal statement. So being able to navigate through the process of your CV, your online CV, your track CV, a strong personal statement, and answering the questions, that they ask for each application is what is stopping a lot of people. That is the challenge a lot of people are facing. The qualifications, the supporting statements, and the questions that are being asked on NHS track or even NHS Scotland is more difficult. So this is where people are finding it difficult.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much for answering that. I've got a question I need to ask you now. I get a lot of messages from people in the UK who their COS, maybe the person that brought them into the UK, the COS has expired, or something has happened, or they are finishing school and their sponsorship is ending. Is this a pathway for them to be able to stay and extend their stay in the UK?
Absolutely. So if you know what you are doing and you're already in the UK, this should be a surefire way for you to extend your stay, to switch. That's why I said, if you know what you are doing, and if you do not know what you are doing, you want to follow those that know what they are doing and are able to get there. So it's 2 things. It's either you know it or you don't know it. And if you do not know it, you want to find out how, and you want to, get that knowledge, get that information. So if you are in the UK, your visa is expiring, your sponsor's license has been revoked, you are on a dependent visa, post-study work visa, this is one surefire way. This is just an opportunity for you. I don't know what you're waiting for. Get qualified, make sure that you have those qualifications under your belt, And if you do not know how to write the personal statement and do the application, you want to get that help and you want to position yourselves for this job. Within a couple of months, few months, I would say, you should be well on your way to your, starting a career within the NHS.
So, I mean, anything that has to do with visa sponsorship, you can move with family.
So if you are getting a clinical support role, you will get a code that is 6131 that allows you to move with your dependents. But if you get like 6135 or 6136, which is care workers, then you can't move with your dependents. So that is why you want to get a job within the NHS that is clinical support in nature, nursing assistant, healthcare assistant, band 3 role that allows you to move with your family, your dependents. Thank you.
Now, I want you to please list again those jobs that are high demand that people should, those jobs that are high in demand that people should look out for that would enable them get these jobs you're talking about.
Okay, so I'm just going to, read it from my screen so that I don't leave anyone out. So I'm reading from the Gov website. So it's gov.uk, National Pay Scales for Eligible Healthcare Occupation Codes. If you want to type it on Google or search it, that's the page I'm reading from. And it's England Agenda for Change, Scotland Agenda for Change, Wales Agenda for Change, and Northern Ireland Agenda for Change. And these bans apply to the following healthcare occupation codes. So these are the occupation codes you want to be looking at. There are so many, there are about 30, but I'll just read the more common and important ones. So 2221 is for physiotherapists, 2222 occupational therapists, 2223 is for speech and language therapists. You have psychotherapists, clinical psychologists, other psychologists, midwives, registered community nurses, nurse practitioners, other registered nursing practitioners, pharmacists, optometrists, medical radiographers, paramedics, podiatrists, social workers, medical and dental technicians, health associate professionals, nursing auxiliary 6131, ambulance staff, and dental nurses. And the good thing about all these professions is that you can start from band 3. Because I can see there are a lot of people watching that are maybe in their mid-40s or mid-50s and saying, how do I start a career in healthcare? You can start from band 3 and you can work your way up. That is why I love the NHS, because it's very good for career progression. It's hard work, but if you know what you are doing, give yourself 5 years, you can get to, that place you want to get to. So let's look at, for example, 2221 physiotherapists that I mentioned. To work in the UK as a physiotherapist, you have to be registered with HCPC and start at band 5. And after, a couple of months or so, you can move up to months or years, you can move up to band 6 and band 7 and work your way up. However, if you are not a physiotherapist, or you studied physiotherapy, or maybe you haven't even studied physiotherapy, but you have some experience working with people with stroke and you have your MVQ, you can start at band 3, assistant physiotherapy support worker. I'm talking from experience. So all the things I'm saying are not just things that they are not figments of my imagination. They are things that grammatorial students have worked their way through. So band 3 physiotherapy support worker, you can start at that level and start to build yourself all the way up to band 4, band 5, band 6. So that is why at Grammatorial, we preach career progression, not just getting a job, but a job that can help you to progress your career. So all these careers that I've mentioned, all these can give you an entry into the NHS as a band 3 worker, whether qualified. Thank you.
All right, amazing. Thank you very much. I have got here Binta. Is this Binta, correct?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much for joining in. You're with Laura here and myself. You've got a question you want to ask, please. Go ahead.
Yes. I wanted to find out because I'm actually in Scotland and I've actually been applying for these NHS jobs. My portal is filled with unsuccessful. It's beginning to weigh me down. So I want to know, a friend of mine, because I came here for my master's, I did public health.
As your weight has gone down. You say it's
the weight has gone down, believe me, it has gone down. So, I did public health for my master's, but I'm not getting the jobs. So my first degree was microbiology. So I was advised to try this phlebotomy stuff, but I don't understand the NVQ3. Is it like I'm going to start afresh with a new set? I don't get, because someone was telling me I could actually convert my certificate from Nigeria, ethics, is it ethics they call
Yeah.
it, be what, to NVQ something. So I'm actually confused.
Okay, Binta, I'll break it down for you. I'll start with the NVQ thing. So I have a lot of people saying, oh, I have a master's in public health, most especially. And when you tell them NVQ3, they get upset. NVQ3 is RQF level 3, and I have RQF level 6 or 7. Why do you want me to go back? NVQ3 has a lot about legislation.
Okay.
It has a lot about healthcare legislation, social
Okay.
care legislation, care for the elderly,
Okay.
that your public health masters may not have.
Okay.
That is someone with an NVQ3, NVQ4 as a manager over someone that has masters.
Okay.
Because law and legislation is very important in the UK and in any industry, not talk less of the healthcare industry. So I would recommend, and a lot of public health specialists have seen that difference. They are not going to throw away your master's in public health, but adding that is a big advantage.
Okay.
So you're with that understanding of the law, the legislation that governs the healthcare sector, a basic understanding, and then your master's in public health, your understanding of public health and, you know, the public health laws as well. And you are starting, like I said, you're coming into a new country. I understand you want to get a job as a public health specialist, as a manager, as a band 5. But what if you start as band 3 and you show yourself and in 18 get to that level? That's another strategy. So instead of applying for band, you know, those higher band rules, why not just get a bit of certifications, come down a little bit, get that band 3 role. And when your manager sees the stuff you are made of, sees what you start doing, they will believe in you. They will put you forward for things during your appraisals, and you can start to progress your career.
Okay, so if I do the NVQ3 now and the phlebotomy certification, I could actually start applying for a band 3 role in NHS.
Band 3, band 4, depending on your experience.
All right. Thank you
Thank
very
you
much.
very much. Thank you, Waka Waka Doctor. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
bye. Yeah.
All right. Let me just say this to everyone. If you want to reach out to Laura, you can on Instagram. It's Grammatorial Education. Or I'm just going to pin it now. Or use WhatsApp. It is +447 999908 okay, on WhatsApp. Now let me ask you some questions. That do you think recruitment agencies help with this
Whole thing.
getting of jobs within the NHS?
What I would say is to use recruitment agencies strategically, to know who is recruiting, who has sponsorship, but don't go through them. That's the strategy with them. Because of this red list, you know, UK is under the WHO red list. UK they cannot do third-party recruitment from certain countries. So like Nigeria, I think Ghana, Zimbabwe are on the red list. India is not on the red list. So if you're watching from India, you can use recruitment agents. Pakistan is on the red list, so you can't use recruitment agents. So what I would do, if you are from these countries that are on the red list, go to the recruitment agents website, find out who is recruiting, which trusts are recruiting. You can even talk to them to know who is recruiting, and then go and approach those trusts directly. So that is a strategy that I've used that has proven very useful if you are from red list countries.
And do you advise that you apply for multiple roles within the NHS at once?
Absolutely. I always tell people, so if you have your NVQ level 3 or your phlebotomy certificate, you can apply for a role as an occupational therapy assistant. You can apply for a role in another trust as a radiography assistant. And in another trust, you can apply as a dental nurse assistant. Let me tell you how. And each trust, the two trusts cannot see your application because they all operate autonomously. So Trust A and Trust B, their recruitment process is completely different. So feel free to change, tailor, and align your CV for your dental nurse assistant to Trust A. And when you're applying to Trust B as a radiography assistant or ophthalmic technician, you highlight those skills. So I know of some people that have worked, for example, in some teaching hospitals across different departments. So say you have worked in pediatrics, you have worked with in orthopedics, you have worked in A&E. When you are applying to physiotherapy assistant, you highlight your skills in that area, stroke unit, orthopedics, you highlight those skills. And when you're applying to maternity support worker, you highlight your skills in gynae and up. So so that's the way you can be strategic. That's the way you can be strategic.
Okay.
And I always, love showing people how they can apply for 2 different jobs, and the CVs will look completely different, like their own different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got more questions. Now, NHS, do they cover everything required, or people would have to pay for the visa process? How
NHS,
does that work?
that is why it's worth investing in your NHS applications, because they even give relocation support. So I know of someone in Wales, they gave her £2,500 as her relocation, support. Scotland, they give up to £4,500 as relocation support for band 3 and above. So it all depends. So they could give you accommodation or not, and they will give you some relocation support. So it varies from trust to trust. So don't be disappointed if maybe a certain trust gives you less than that, but they will give you something. And it's free. It's completely free.
All right. So, guys, again, I'm saying it. If you want to communicate with them on WhatsApp, it is +44 79999 08290, or you send a DM to Grammatorial Education, and there'll be someone to reach out to you. Okay. And you said NHS provides financial support and relocation
Yeah.
covers as well. Do you have other success stories that, I mean, you personally, do you have success stories that you can share with us?
Our success stories is the oil in our wheels. It's what keeps us moving. It's what keeps us motivated. It's what we wake up, looking forward to. Expectation is what the mother of manifestation. And thankfully, to God be the glory, post April 4th, 2024, there were lots of uncertainties towards the end of last year. There was a lot of uncertainties, a lot of NHS trusts. They were pausing, putting holds. But post April 2024, there's been lots of testimonies, success stories. Like I talked about, the person that went from band 2 to band 4. And more recently, last week, the ones I shared with you as well. Just a little over a month after her phlebotomy training in the UK, in London, she got her sponsored job, band 3. So we've gotten lots of testimonies and success stories. That time will not permit me, to go through each and every one of them. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So I've got 2 people here. I've got Laide Olaleye and I've got Nedu for John. So who wants to go first?
I just want to ask Laura. Hi, Miss Laura.
Hi.
The NHS and phlebotomy, does it apply to people in the legal field? How do we come in?
Okay, so if you're in the legal field and you're looking at changing careers, you're looking at switching into the healthcare career, then you can come in. So that would work for you. So you can come in, it's 2 days, it's intensive. We do both practice on mannequins and live blood draws, on volunteers. And once you get your certificates, then you can start practicing. We always advise our learners, our participants to continue to volunteer whilst they are applying for NHS job as phlebotomist. So this is one easy fast track route to enter into the NHS as a band 3 phlebotomist or clinical support worker. But you have to be committed to change, because one thing about people in other professions, they are looking at this as a quick fix or a way to just get COS, and I highly discourage those things, because the healthcare profession is one that I call it, a vocation. It's not just a profession, it's a vocation. So as long as you are committed to making this change, then it's something that could work for you.
So are you saying it's 2 day? Is a 2 day certification?
Certification. And once you get the certificate, don't fold your arms, don't relax. You'll get voluntary positions. Continue to volunteer whilst you are applying so that you have that on your CV. So volunteering with, Atlas Medical Laboratories as a, phlebotomist, volunteering with, NHS Royal Voluntary Services as a blood collector. So you have that experience, because experience is very important. So once you've gotten your certification, you're a certified phlebotomist, you need to back it up with experience. So you need to have experience 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, as the case may be, whilst you're applying for the jobs. So that shows
Okay, thanks.
making that transition. So if I see on your CV, legal practitioner 2020 to 2024 June, 24 June to September, you have been consistently working in a GP surgery as a part-time phlebotomist, I will be inclined to taking you than someone that just says, I have a phlebotomy certification and is not showing any, any
Yes,
move,
yeah.
you know.
I
Yeah.
get you. I get you. Yeah, that's very intelligent. Thank you, Laura.
Right. Okay, Mr. Man, oh yeah, now your turn.
Okay, sorry. A quick one. Good evening, everyone. So, Laura, I currently live in the UK. I'm close to London.
You live in
actually.
the
I'm Yeah, I'm in the UK. Okay. I'm currently working with a care home,
Okay.
and I'm looking to switch to the NHS. So, first of all, I was trying to do the RQF for health and social care, and I realized my employer refused because they need to like have a work based thing. My employer refused, so I did the non RQF.
Okay.
I think I think I one of these schools in.
Do with grammatorial.
No, seriously, no. At that time, I had not known about it, and I'm still waiting for the certificate. Actually,
Wow.
I did it a few months ago. I think I should be expecting it. London School of Professional Studies or something. Yeah.
They give you, so there's no vocational aspect of it, because the NHS will ask for your competency, they want that competency part of it. And the non-RQF we have the competency as well. So we have the way we do it. We have the practical aspect and how we're able to enhance that. But it's beyond the scope of this live televised or live.
Okay.
So I would say you would be good doing the phlebotomy. Phlebotomy would really work out. Since you have a certificate, I don't want to discard or just discount that your certificate without seeing it and seeing the unit and how they've structured it. So if you send me a DM with maybe like a screenshot of the certificate or the units that you did, and I can, advise better.
Okay.
And combine the phlebotomy, it's an unmissable, it doesn't miss targets.
If I intend to do the phlebotomy with you, would you help me look at my tracks?
That's one of the perks. So if you're doing your phlebotomy with us in London or in Manchester, you would get that one-to-one support. So we have a specialist, specialist recruitment and employability coach. Have worked many years experience. We have experienced phlebotomists, people that have worked 17 years, worked within the NHS and private sector. So they would actually give you all that you need. It's not everything we can say live.
Okay, I'm really grateful. I've gotten your number. I've sent you a hello. I'm going to send you some more messages. I'm really Waka doctor. It's nice to see you.
Same
I like
here,
your
brother.
dreads.
Same here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a
all
good
right,
evening,
bro.
Laura.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Let's talk about you a little bit, Laura.
Yeah.
You've been a teacher, you've been an engineer, now you are an educator, you're a recruiter. What exactly do you do and what services do you provide?
So what I do is anything to help mankind, anything to help people succeed and excel in life. That is my business. So if it's empowering, if it's educating, if it's helping you to get a qualification to move to your next level. That is why people say Gramatoria is a ministry, not just, you know, an organization. It's actually a platform for the development of humankind. So that is what I do now. Like you said, I've been a civil engineer for the past 15, 16 years, and even my helping people to get into employment, into studies, and into a career has predated my civil engineering, you know, profession. So I've been doing this for over 20 years now, since about 2002. So 22 years now. And I've been an engineer for over 15 years. Yes, I've been an engineer for over 15 years. So my job this is a passion for me. It predates my profession as an engineer. And right now I'm an assessor, I'm an IQA, I'm, you know, a recruiter. Like you said, I wear many hats. As long as it will help my learners, it will help my students to arrive at their destination, I'm more than happy to do it.
And
So,
people can reach you out on this through
yeah.
through Instagram, Grammatorial Education, and of course through WhatsApp +447 9999 08290 +447 9999 08290.
For those that want to send emails, emails will never get blocked or emails will never hang. So all your emails will come through. And I would say, please allow at least, you know, 24 hours for us to respond to your message. So you don't send a message by midnight and by 9 a.m. you are calling us out for not responding. So please give us time. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have about 5 or 6 reps that are answering messages, I can tell you. So it's not only me. I have reps both here in the UK and also in outside of the UK that are assisting and supporting me to answer you. We'll try our best to get back to you as soon as possible. Leave a comment, you know, under our description or under any of our posts, you know, just to say you're expecting a response, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. So doctor, before you go, the courses that we offer are the phlebotomy 2-day courses in London, Manchester, Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, just 2 days. We also offer the 2 weeks master classes if you are looking at helping you with your CV, getting your CV structured, your track profile for those that have been applying. Maybe you already have a qualification and you need us to assist you with your track personal statement, or to find jobs in Ireland, New Zealand, Australia. You want to join our 2 weeks master class, or one of our diploma courses. Diploma RQF is regulated here in the United Kingdom and it's accepted globally, even in Canada for your West, you know, evaluation, or in Australia or in New Zealand, in Ireland, it's accepted globally. That's our level 3 diploma in healthcare support and the level 3 diploma in health and social care, non-RQF. So we look forward to helping you, to supporting you, and to guiding you to achieve your dream job in the United Kingdom or in any of the countries that I've mentioned very soon. Thank you very much.
Well,
Right?
guys, I think we've done a good job. We've been talking over the last hour about visa sponsorship jobs within the NHS within a period of about 2 months, and how you can do it. It's been a pleasure chatting with you, Laura. Thank you very much for coming. All right, guys, have a good night.
Take care. Bye.